I've told a few people that I would do a video on how to stretch your hips, so like glutes, lower back, hamstrings, and this is just what I do. It's simply what I do for myself, and at best it's a suggestion for you. Please keep in mind I am a licensed massage therapist. I'm not a physical therapist, I'm not a yoga instructor, and I'm not a personal trainer. So before we start, please make sure that if something hurts, you stop doing it. Don't go farther than you can. Your body will tell you how far you can go. If it brings pain, you should stop. So, I'm going to start standing up. Bring your arms over your head and lean forward. This should give you a stretch into your hamstrings. And then bring it down. And lean into it. You'll probably feel this a little bit in your calves and then into your hamstrings, up into the upper attachment. Feel free to hold any of these as long as you need to. It will start to feel a little less pulley, in which case your tissue is releasing. Spread your legs a little bit wider than shoulder length. Walk it over to the right side of your foot and bend your left knee just a little bit to get deeper into your right hamstring. Back into the middle, and then over to the left side, same thing, bend your right knee. Generally speaking, I probably hold these for at least 30 seconds, if not longer, up to maybe 2-3 minutes, depending on what I need. Now, I just stretched yesterday for 45 minutes and got a massage, so I'm less in need of it today than normal. Widen your legs. As wide as you feel comfortable. You might go wider as you kind of get into it, as you feel your tissue start to release a little bit. And you might need to start with your hands just dropping down, but you're going to go as deep as you can. So like I said, I stretched yesterday, so I can get a little bit lower. Your head might touch the floor. You're going to feel this in your inner thighs. And you feel like that has released enough for you. Walk it back in. We're going to go straight down again. Feel a little bit of a difference. Cross it. Now this one for me is a little bit harder, so I don't do this a lot. If you need to, you can step out a little bit farther so your feet aren't quite as close together. They don't need to be parallel. But just do what feels comfortable for you. Cross the other side. This will be getting into your IT band, into TFL, and coming down. If those are a little bit looser, you might be feeling it in the upper glute attachment on your hip. Step out wider again and sink down so that you can kind of rest your arms on the inner part of your knees and push out. This one you probably won't be able to hold for 2 minutes. And then give a little twist to push out on that left side more. And on your right side more. I'm going to bring it down to your knees. Spread your knees with your toes touching. And drop back into what at yoga is called child's pose. So you should be pressing up with your hips, and you'll feel kind of like the sacral attachments all over here in your lower back start to release. Alright, a lot of this is going to be floor work from here on out. So, go ahead and just reach over your head, feet straight out in front of you, and come down. If any of you are experienced in yoga, you know that you'll breathe into it. So what that means is as you inhale, you're kind of stretching your back, getting ready, and then when you exhale, you're sinking down into it. So you're kind of using your breath to stretch deeper without pain. Now I'm using a yoga mat just because I know that means I have enough space. A lot of times at work, if I have a free hour that didn't get booked, I'll go in my room and stretch, in which case I just know it's kind of like the length of my body, and then maybe not quite arm's width that I need. Alright, go ahead and spread your legs out wide. Whew. And come straight down towards the middle. So for me, I know that my left hamstring upper attachment tends to be tight. So I might hold this a little bit longer because I can feel it release a little bit better for that part of my body. Like I said, you can use these in pretty much whatever order you want. I tend to start standing and then drop down and use this order just because it flows nicely, and the last one that I do is kind of a build up to that because it does tend to be an intense release. And I kind of tailored that to my body and what's tight for me, so I slowly release so it doesn't make it as hard for my body tissue. Generally speaking, I stretch twice a week for about 45 minutes each. I get a massage every other week, and it's still very necessary for me to kind of maintain this. And like I said, I do have a spot that tends to be tighter for me. Doesn't matter that I stretch this much, doesn't matter that I get a massage, it's just that's my spot. So, but since I know that that's my tight spot, I can also have a little bit more focus to that area to keep myself healthy. Alright, bring one foot in, twist your hips so they're straight forward towards your foot, reach up and down towards it. I'm going to have you bring your right arm up and over and reach towards your left foot. And this will be a little bit more into your lower back, QL, and erectors. Also, if you find it's hard to do that on the floor, you can also do it against a doorway. So you stand against the doorway, left hand on the doorway, bring your right arm up and over, and you kind of push into your right hip. Sometimes it'll stretch a little bit differently. Like for me, it starts higher, and then as it releases, it goes lower. But just depending on how tight your body is, that's how it will work for you. Bring it back to the other side and stretch it down and over. And then again, reach up with your left hand and over your head towards your right foot to release your lower back. You're going to bring your legs out in front of you, put your feet together, so there's a diamond in here, and then you're going to go down slowly over your feet. If you have a yoga block, sometimes those are nice because your head doesn't just hang out, it can sit on it. I find it doesn't really matter for me because it means I can do it anywhere and I don't have to have a yoga block with me. If you do feel it's more comfortable, you can bring a pillow, you can stack your hands. But as you feel the release, your head should drop anyway, so you might wind up down on the floor with your head anyway. Next we're just going to do good old-fashioned butterfly. So hold your feet as close as you can to your body, your knees out, and press with your elbows down on your legs. And that again will be more of an adductor inner thigh stretch. Go ahead and lay down on your back, bring your legs up together, and drop your left leg long. And bring your right knee over. You want to pitch a little bit to make sure your hips all the way under. Pull your knee down. Let your right arm lay flat along, or you can always bring it up. You're going to want to take a deep breath in here, and as you exhale, drop your hand. It'll let it go easier, and it should give you a little bit more of a spinal stretch. I'm feeling this one more in my glutes into my IT band. Come back so that your hips are on the floor again, but keep your leg over. And have you grab your foot and put it flat on the floor next to you, if you can. And then you're kind of reaching out towards your foot. So let it stretch out, and this one you'll feel in your glutes in a little bit of a different way. Remember that the glutes are a few different layers. You have glute maximus, medius, and minimus, as well as several adductors, abductors, so everything you move your hip and legs in several different directions. You do have a ball and socket joint there. So there's a lot of tissue layers, a lot to get through, and the muscle tissue goes in several different directions. So in using all these different stretches, we can target the different directions of the muscle movement. Bring it up for a hamstring stretch over your head. Generally speaking, after I finish stretching, I feel like I've just gotten a massage because my hips have released so much. And I try to do it actually before I get a massage, so then I
have taken care of that part of my body, and I can focus on other things. Like I have a little bit of an ankle thing going on, or my shoulder. I had a little bit of shoulder pain. My forearms needed work, so I didn't have to put so much effort into keeping my hips maintained. I can do that on my own rather than use the time for my massage that I need for other things too. Alright, now you're going to grab a strap here. Place it around the bottom of your foot. Bring it up. Cross it over your body. Let it go down and around and back up. This one I have to kind of play with because I don't have the space. And then up. Go back the other way, up towards your right side, and down towards your other foot, and then back up. Now you're going to hold it. So using the strap, you're going to bring your foot as far down to the left towards your head and the floor as you can. Now for some people, that might mean you are up here. Wherever that is, it's fine. It just means that that's the release that you're getting. You should be able to bring the strap closer in as you hold it. And then you're going to go the other way as well. So bring it up to your right side. Again, as close to your head and the floor as you can. This way, again, you're feeling kind of in your inner thigh. Bring it up to the hamstring stretch again. You'll find you should be able to go a little bit farther and drop it down. If you look at your feet here, your right leg's probably a little bit longer than your left leg now. Mine is maybe about an inch and a half. Bring your left knee in and cross it over. I'm going to do this the other way now. Drop your hand out, deep breath in. Shift your hips so that they're under you again. Pull down on it with your right leg and hold your left foot next to your leg. Your knee should be as straight up towards the ceiling as you can get it. If it's bending down, you're probably not going to get quite as much of a stretch in your glutes, or it's going to be a different part of your glutes, which is fine too. But generally speaking, more straight up and down it is, the more you're going to get into the deeper levels. Bring it up to the hamstring stretch. I might just let you guys hang out here for 5 minutes because this is what I need. Oh. You might notice in some places that are really tight for you that your body starts shaking a little bit. In that case, it's okay to let off a little bit if you feel like it's too much. If it feels like it's okay, just try to breathe with it a little bit more, and it'll help your body accept the stretch a little bit more. Again, take your strap. I don't know if I'm going to have room here. Bring it up. If you do it near a wall, then it can actually help you brace against it. or it can be in your way. There you go. And bring it down towards your right foot and back up towards your right shoulder. And up, and then go the opposite direction, starting towards your right shoulder. Down. Miss the bookcase. And the doorway. And back up. Alright, now you're going to hold it here. Like I said, sometimes it's nice to have a wall there. Braces. If you don't have a strap, I mean, you can use a belt or anything really that seems strap-like that you can hold with both hands comfortably. Mine's actually braided t-shirt strips from when I was trying a project that didn't really work out, but it doesn't have to be anything fancy. But again, if you don't have it, then you can just kind of brace against a wall, and that can do the trick. And then you move to get more of a stretch to let it, as it releases a little bit more, kind of just move your right foot slowly out, very slowly, and in very small increments. So this way, up towards your shoulder, you should be feeling it in the inner part of your thigh. And then bring it up towards your right shoulder. And this will be more of a hamstring stretch. Bring it up for that hamstring stretch straight up again. It's still really tight for me. And release it. Stretch up. And your legs should be about the same length again. Now we're going to finish up with what for me tends to be the most intense stretch. That's why I save it for last, so that for the most part my muscles have warmed up, they're looser a little bit, so it's not quite as intense as it would be if I went straight into it. If you're holding a lot of emotional stress or just physical stress in your hips, you might feel a little panicked. That's okay. Try to take deep breaths through it. If you need to, have somebody there to hold your hand through it. Alright, so go ahead and start in what's referred to as downward dog with your feet hips width apart, your hands on the mat, and your hips in the air. Raise your right leg high, and then swing it through, and drop back. So you want to keep your foot flexed to protect your ankle, right here, and don't drop into one side or the other of your hips. You want to keep your hips straight to get the release. Now, if you have a problem getting into this or it's too much, there are a couple of alternatives. You can start on the ground and cross your foot over your knee and bring that up. Push against your knee, pull against your foot, and it can change the direction as you move your foot up and down your leg. If that's hard to hold, go against the wall. Put your foot on the wall. And again, same thing. If that is also very difficult for you or uncomfortable, you can use a bed. So you're going to bend at the knee and then lower yourself over your knee until you feel the stretch. So again, for me, this tends to be probably the most intense. If you need to, and you can start here and slowly lower down as your body tissue releases. You might wind up with your head on the floor. If you still need more, you're going to cross your right arm through onto your left. Remember to keep your hips in the same position, straight forward, don't drop into one side or the other. Again, you can hold it as long as you need to. To come out of it, curl your toes under and push up. You might need to take a counter stretch, and you'll feel that in the front part of your hips. Left leg up, swing it through, same thing. If you decide to go on the floor or against the wall or on your bed, that's a good time to switch. Be sure that if you are on the floor that your legs stay straight behind you. This stretch might move throughout your glutes as your muscle tissue releases. If you have a knot or what's called a trigger point in your glutes, you might feel the intensity a little bit more as it tries to release. That's a good time to take deep breaths in and out. Press back up, toes under, and counter stretch. You're probably feeling it in here. Walk your feet in. You should be able to reach down a lot farther than you were able to at the beginning. And come back up. And that's it. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments or message me. Thank you.